Hello, good evening. Welcome to a live episode of the ONG Strike Zone. Bryan Fulford, Kelvin Rozier here. Good to be back on with you. Another Wednesday night episode. Kelvin, how you doing, brother?
Doing wonderful, my brother. Looking forward to another wonderful weekend of Rattler Athletics. We got volleyball coming up where we can see if we can go undefeated in Swac for the season. And we have an important home game against Mississippi Valley in football to kind of get that bitter taste out of our mouth. So I am looking forward to this weekend, Bryan.
Great. Want to say hello to everybody that's joining us. I just fired off the retweet from our ONG Twitter feed. Of course, our show is streaming live on the Jericho Broadcast Network's YouTube page. We are part of the Black College Sports Network. So we say hello to all of the friends at MyJBN Online. Also, if you're watching us on Facebook, the Black College Sports Network Facebook page, we say hello to you. And of course, everyone watching on our ONG Strike Zone pages, on YouTube, on Facebook, on X, on Instagram. We thank you for tuning in and joining the show. All right. Appreciate everybody in the comments. We'll try to see what's going on. I'm not showing any. I see Bull saying my video's lagging. I'm not seeing that. You know, who knows? I think I got a good signal, but you know, you guys keep me abreast of what's happening there as you see it, and we'll kind of go from there. Well, yes, obviously before we get into, we'll get to the roll call here in a moment. So I know one of those unusual Saturdays, Kelvin. We in our 4 years, in the SWAC. Yesterday or Saturday actually was a day of first. You know, it's been a first, losing to anybody other than Jackson State, and combined with, I think, the first time we've been in the first time we've been in Prairie View. I don't know, what was it?
62, 63
years. Yeah. So a lot of firsts to deal with. So all right. Well, you know, I'm looking at some of the comments. I'm not really sure how's my feed looking to you, Kelvin, because your signal looks good to me. I'm hardwired in, folks. So if my signal is looking choppy, I'm not really sure what that is a result of.
You're coming through fine.
Yeah.
Every now and then there's a pause, jump, but for the most part, I'm hearing and seeing you fine.
All right. So hopefully everything goes well. You guys bear with us. You know, usually I can tell. I just cut off sometimes I have my Wi-Fi on as well as the hardline connection. So I just cut off my Wi-Fi. I'm just going to keep my fingers crossed that everything comes through well. You know, the worst case scenario, hopefully the audio is good and at least you can hear me. So we'll get into, as Kelvin said, we'll get into talking about the game in Prairie View, all of that and everything that went with that. We'll also get into talking about our volleyball team picking up a good win against a rival and then heading into a big weekend where not only are we unbeaten in the conference, but we're also unbeaten in the Lawson Center. So a big weekend, the last homestand before the conference tournament begins. So we've been on a mission. The ladies have been on a mission to get the rings back. Hashtag get our rings back, as Coach Dominique Washington said preseason at the beginning of the season. That's been the mission, and so this team has really been focused and doing a great job of playing to the standard of the teams before them. And we'll also talk about the basketball season, which is now in the middle of its second week. And we'll kind of, both teams are going through the trials and tribulations of playing ACC, Big East, SEC, just Big 12. It's just one of those things that we deal with at this point in the season. So we'll try to parse through all of it and see if we can find the positives in all of this. But do me a favor, all of you, if you would, if you're watching the show right now, go and hit the thumbs up and the like button. Hit the thumbs up and the like button. Greatly appreciated wherever and however you're watching us. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. If you want to make a donation, there you can right there at the bottom. You see the Cash App. Or you could hit that QR code in the bottom left and you can scan that as well. Or those of you in the JBN online page, you could also leave a super chat. All of it's appreciative. Look, we're trying to, haven't been able to get to many road trips, haven't been able to do many shows, but the Florida Classic is in a couple of weekends. So, maybe if the donations are right, Kelvin, we might be able to do a show. We might be able to afford to do a show. So.
I'm just saying, Bryan, you in Orlando.
That's a game I cannot miss. All right. I can't miss that one. So yes, I will be there for that one. I can't miss that. Okay. Let's do what we like to do always in the beginning of our show. Let's kind of go through the roll call and say hello to Rattler Nation. Okay, you guys are telling me thumbs up that the signal's coming in much better. I appreciate it. So yeah, maybe that was it. I gotta uncheck the Wi-Fi when those kind of things happen. All right. First up in the building, Jimmy Mack coming in.
What's up, J Mac?
Appreciate you. Exactly. Good, bad, or indifferent. Win, lose, or draw. Still good to be a Rattler. Damn right. Damn right.
That's right. That's right. Say it with your chest.
With the chest out. Exactly. Good to see you, Ken.
What's up, Ken? Alex.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Coach Ferrasi, appreciate you, Coach, for coming in. Always good. Always good. Marvin Allen, thank you for coming in. Yeah. Ezekiel Love, appreciate you.
What's up, Zeke?
Melissa Wilson, checking in. Good to see you, Melissa. Thank you for coming in. Meredith.
What up, Meredith?
Thank you for being a JBN subscriber on the YouTube page. We appreciate you.
What's up, Bull?
Yeah, exactly. Bull, we thank you. Defense. Yeah, and we got to talk about that, boy. Defense. Kind of left on the plane, I guess. Anyway, Marcus. Appreciate you, Marcus, coming in. Thank you for being a JBN
What's up, Marcus?
subscriber. Mary 305. Hey, Mary.
305 in the house.
Thank you for being a JBN subscriber as well. Gail. Hello, Gail.
Hey, Gail.
Gail. Hopefully Gail's got our predictions.
We ain't gotta worry about it. I
don't even know what the predictions were, to be honest.
That's old stuff.
It's old stuff. Well, Gail, you got it. You can drop it in the chat, Gail. Give us a heads up. Tamara T, good to see you, Tamara.
What's up, Tamara T?
Thank you for being a JBN subscriber as well. Chuck Hunt, checking in.
Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah, the place is far, far away. Monroe, Louisiana, Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, well, you still Monroe? Okay. What's up, Chuck?
Places here and near. Demetra.
What's up, Demetra?
Yeah, good to see you. Mr. Campbell.
What's up, Mr. Campbell? How you doing, sir?
Checking in. Good to see you.
What's up, Unc?
Ashton Harris, checking in. Good to see you. Happy birthday, Ashton. Ashton celebrated the big 3-0 this past weekend, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
That's what's up, man. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Ashton. All right. Y'all on me. Let me see if I go through the EA. See, I'm not even going to shout you out, EA, because you come in hot talking about yeah. Let me see. EA said, I see you're running late from the I told y'all party in Maryland. Okay. Stop it.
EA rough, boy.
No, man, just come in hot. No, not even a hello, EA. Can we get a hello? What's up, Rattlers, or something? You just come in hot. Alice McCullough checking in from the 561 Palm Beach.
What's up, Alice?
Iria. Hey, Iria. Good to see you. Checking in from the Carolinas.
What's going on, Iria?
Sam Gilbert. Yeah.
What's up, Gil?
I'm good too. Appreciate you, Sam. Thank you for being a JBN subscriber. Appreciate you. Yeah, definitely. Kerry Daniels checking in. Duval
What's up,
in the
Kerry?
house.
What's going on? And Jeffrey?
Yeah. Anthony Partee checking in.
What's up, Ant?
Is that the 214? What area code is the 214? Is that what that is?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Tell us, Anthony. What is the 214?
Oh, Green checking in. Good to see you.
What's up?
Appreciate you.
What's up, old green joker?
Oh, y'all are good. Hey, again, appreciate everybody coming in. We might have Marcus. I know you may be saying, where's Marcus at? Marcus is dealing with
Edwin Moore.
Yeah, good to see you. Shaco, good to see you. Edwin Moore, checking again. Hello to all of you guys. Appreciate you. As I was saying, Marcus Greeno, he may be joining us. Maybe. We'll see. Marcus had to deal with some things. So we'll see if he can find his way in before the close of the show. But so we always keep
what up, Zoe?
Keep a spot for Marcus.
Give Zoe a shout out.
Good to see you, Zoe. Appreciate you coming in, checking us out. We're gonna talk about some scenarios a little bit, Zoe. I know y'all are living high on the horse, but we hold on. We're holding on to hope around here, Zoe. We holding on to hope.
Hey, the fat lady, she warming up now. But she ain't made that final call yet.
She's gargling, drinking that warm tea. Yeah, but she hadn't come on stage just yet. So we got some Rattler Nation, boy, sent me down the rabbit hole, Kelvin. I said this, I thought I would just be able to come in the show and I'd be able to tell people about some hard truths. But then you start getting texts and messages.
Yeah.
Hey, Bryan, you got to give us some scenarios.
Hey.
What scenarios? I did all that last week.
Hey, I gotta call out Will on this. Will Yeomans, he wants to start us down this rabbit hole.
Yeah, man. So Will. So later up in the show, probably wait until Keith comes on, and I'll at the request of Will and others. He ain't the only one. We'll go through some scenarios. So, all right. Well, let's talk about it. No, Lennon. No, officially we are not eliminated from the Swac championship, Lennon. You stick around, buddy.
We got about a 1% chance.
We got which means
there is a chance.
There's a chance, Lennon. Crazier things. Look, Lennon, you from the MEAC, where foolishness has been known to break off at a moment's notice from the MEAC. So you hang tight in there, brother. We got some good stuff for you here today. Okay, well, yeah. Final score from the weekend. Prairie View 31, FAMU 12. As I mentioned, we haven't been to Prairie View in something like 60-something years. I think we had all predicted this score flipped by so many points. I mean, the point spread was 13.5. I don't think anyone saw this particular outcome, didn't see this game playing out the way it did. Maybe Prairie View did, but I don't even believe that. I don't even believe that. But anyway, yeah, they get the win. Prairie View improves to 5-5, 3-3, keep their hopes alive in the SWAC West. We dropped to 5-4, 3-2 in conference play. Again, first loss to anybody in the conference outside of Jackson State since we joined the conference. So it is what it is. Total yardage wise, just kind of looking at a few stats from the course of the game. 354 to 344 in favor of us. Rushing yards, Prairie View outrushed us 151 to 140. Passing yards, 214 to 193. We'll talk about the passing. Penalty yards, they had 3 more penalties. 11. Prairie View had 11 for 105. We had 8 for 95. We possessed the ball 33 minutes to their 25. But obviously, the first quarter is where this thing kind of went sideways from the get go. And I thought, as I watched this game, and of course, I couldn't watch it live because I was calling the game in Jacksonville. But as I went back and watched it, we open up the contest, giving up on the opening drive by Prairie View. They go 8 plays, 37 yards, 44-yard field goal, which actually they had a good kick return to open that game up. Which, then 8 plays later down the field. And then our first offensive possession doesn't go very great for us. Let me see. I don't know if you got the box score up, Kelvin. What did we do in our opening drive offensively? I know we punted, obviously, but I don't know how many plays. It wasn't a 3 and out. So that part I know. But right off of the punt, we give up a 1-play, 70-yard touchdown pass, which, I mean, the receiver just ran by the DBs. I mean, I don't even know if it was a pump fake it was a little play action there by the quarterback, but it just really, I don't know if the safeties got bid on something. I don't really know. I don't know what you saw there, Kelvin, on that, but it was just almost a damn near a go route or a post route. And, I mean, it's a beautifully thrown ball. And, I mean, it's the kind of stuff you draw up and you just draw up in the backyard. And so that caught us. And we were down 10-0. And then was it also in the first quarter where there was a couple of injuries, and the most significant injury in that first quarter was Daniel Richardson getting, I don't know, what do you call it? Maybe we got a concussion. I don't know if it was a suplex or it was it didn't look as hard as what you might imagine, but sometimes it's about where and how you fall that makes the difference. And so Richardson goes out at that point in the contest, and then it's like, things just kind of went where they went, Kelvin. We were down 10-7 after a Cameron Gillis 41-yard field goal. So at the end of the first quarter, we're down 10-3. And I mean, let's kind of go from that point, Kelvin. You're opening your thoughts there in that opening quarter. We were down 17-3 going into halftime. What are your thoughts there after that first half?
Well, first of all, Ms. Gail, you don't have to tell us what we predicted from last week.
You don't want me.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm gonna do it just because. No.
And the first thing I want to acknowledge is, there was a little discussion about, an incident at the end of the game, involving the band, and of course, I'm glad that AD Suggs kind of spoke to it today at the 220 Club. There was no incident, other than there was some heckling going on between Prairie View's van and some FAMU fans who were parents or family members of some of the team, and the way the band is positioned and where the team goes to their locker room, and where the parents gravitate to kind of intervene, and there was some interaction with a player or two, kind of trying to come down family members from going back and forth, but there was no physical altercation and no direct altercation between the band and the team. So that was much ado about nothing. Now to the game. So one of the things I think I pointed out last week was that we needed to get off to a good start. That did not happen. We got off to one of our traditional slow starts, and we do that quite a bit on the road, unfortunately. And the first kickoff, was aided. Not only was it a decent return, but it was aided by a face mask that put them at the 50-yard line. And then you talked about the next possession, where they just and they did do some motion. It was set up to take a shot. They wanted to take a shot at that point, and they did move the receiver in motion, and they had some things underneath on the other side, and to isolate that. What they wanted to do was isolate on the post their fastest guy on a DB, and that's what they got. The safeties end up looking at the two slot guys and staying up, which left that DB 1-on-1, and he just it was a good pass. He got beat, and and that happens. So we down 10-0. The beginning of the second quarter is where things really started getting challenging for us. I'll say this off jump. Peer review, this game was frankly a lot more physical than we were. They were really physical. There
Yeah.
was and I won't say that we didn't match it in some ways because we had some pretty good hits too, but there was some serious hitting. And if you notice, we won almost every statistical category in terms except for the scoreboard in terms of stats for the game, right? We
Right.
outgained them. We
Yep.
had more time of possession. They were 3 of like 8 from for third down conversions.
Yep.
So we did overall, if you look, if it was a stat game, we did a lot of things that should have gave us opportunity. But when Daniel Richardson went down early second period, I think that was a second drive or third drive. It was, and the guy fell on him. It was a big guy, D
Yep.
tackle, and all his weight came. And I think the way he fell was his helmet got driven into the ground, or bounced off the ground with the weight of the guy, and he got up. And then when he tried to go to the sidelines and get the play, and then he got woozy and went down again. And from there, of course, I knew he was probably out because he had to go in the concussion protocol at that point, and rightfully so. And then a couple of plays later, here comes Kelvin Dean,
Yeah.
who gets injured, and he doesn't come back. And I tell you why that's really important. Not only are they two playmakers for our offense, but more importantly, leaders. What I saw for the rest of the game was like, where is our leadership among the players? That was a missing factor, I thought. And so once those two guys went out, it was going to be an uphill battle. We needed to keep the game close. I thought that there was a lot of opportunities to make plays. There was about 3 or 4 touchdown passes that were just flat out missed by Junior once he came into the game, where the guys were wide open. They did their job. They beat their man. The offensive line did their job and gave protection, and the receivers did their job, ran the routes. But we just didn't connect, right? Some of that can be timing. Some of it can be nerves. I don't know how many reps he got, but we missed the opportunities we did have. One. The second thing, but I thought I wasn't me. I didn't think the play calling was bad. Like I say, we just didn't execute the plays that were called. We ran the ball pretty decent for a decent average per carry, and we outgained them. And like I say, when that's missing the big plays that were there. But the one play call I do question that stuck that really, and I knew it was big when it happened, was there's a minute and about 40 seconds left before halftime. We down 10-3.
Yeah. Yep.
You run the ball, punt it if you have to.
Uh-huh.
You
Get to halftime.
we were getting the ball
Ball back.
first in,
Yep.
in the third quarter.
Yep.
I thought, and anybody who's watched our team and the things that Junior do well and the things he don't do well. The one pass you never want him to throw is the out, long out. Every interception I've seen him throw, whether it be in the orange and green game or in live action, has typically been that out route or that dump to the tight end across the middle. You can, and so the corner was just sitting there waiting on it. He basically ran the route. The receiver had already broke to the sidelines, so It was late because you normally want to throw that long out before the receiver gets out his break. And, he intercepted, took it to the house, and now we're down 17-3. That becomes a little bit more of a challenge, knowing that, we didn't have our gunslinger. And nor did we have our running back because, Dean is not only he's big part of rotation, but he's our guy that, on third downs and he's our back that catches the ball out of the backfield the most. So that changed a lot. And I thought in the third quarter, I mean, we outscored them 9-0. We need to convert a couple of those field goals to touchdowns though. And that didn't happen. But still, at the end of the third quarter, we in the game. It's 17 to 12, right? 5-point game.
5-point game.
And then that fourth quarter. This is the second time this year that we didn't finish at all. Peer review finish.
Yeah.
I mean, our defense could not stop them from moving up and down the field. And our offense moved the ball some, but didn't sustain anything. And I have the point too. We've got not our starting punters has been out. Our starting kickoff guys been out. And then you add that with the 4 guys who would have been starting on this defense who left. All that showed up this game. If you have a Cheney, if you have a General Hunt, Sharif, Say, all those guys are grad students and leaders, right? And that's my biggest question mark with this team. Is leadership on a team. Who pulled those guys together and say, hey, we're gonna pull this game out. We just don't have that. So at the end of the day, we had opportunity where we could have made this week a lot more interesting, but it didn't happen. And Alabama State took a surprising loss. And if you look over the FBS, the state of Florida in general, nobody won in the state of Florida.
Well, from a division. Hold on, clarify that. Not one Division I team from the state of Florida, because there was a Division II team from the state of Florida that won. I was there, but from the Division I level, not one of the FCS, FBS. What, there's like 9, 10. Not a single one won on Saturday. I mean, one of the rare Saturday. I don't even know when the last time that has ever happened. Maybe never.
Yeah, it was just one of those weekends. Georgia only scored 10 points. I mean, it was just one of those weeks, man, where there was a lot of underdogs that put on the show. So kudos to peer review, and now it's important. We back home. We got all the rest of our games are in the state of Florida, and we got to finish up strong, and that's what I'm more concentrating on. I know we're gonna go down this rabbit hole later, but I'm more concentrated on finishing up strong, and we'll see who's available for us Saturday. 1:00 game. Gates open at 11. 1:00 game. Gates open at 11.
Say that one more time.
Gates open at 11. So everybody don't try to come in at 1.
Yeah. Look,
and be frustrated.
Exactly. All right, a lot to unpack there. I'll provide some comments, but I want to take a short break and come in with our guest, Keith Hadley, Things Up Podcast. Will come in and join us. We're going to talk about this game, even talk about the scenarios, the rabbit hole, which y'all made me do the research on, so you best believe we're going to talk about it. But we'll get his take and come back in. And I know you guys have lots of questions. So if you got any questions or thoughts or comments, make sure to get them into the chat so we can pull them up while we have Keith on. So hang tight. You're watching the O&G Strike Zone right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again. This is Always Ultra Thins reinvented with the Always Triple Protection System. This pad wicks gushes 90% faster, absorbs even more so you can feel dry, and locks odors in. Rethink your pad for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort with the totally reinvented Always Ultra Thins. This is always like never before.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him.
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
This is Bryan Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show. Welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. Bryan, Kelvin, and joining us is Cousin Keith. Cousin Keith. Things Up podcast. Keith Hadley. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm good over here, man. You know, basking in the peace that is FAMU, right?
Hey, that's a great way to live. Keith, we've been obviously just kind of chopping it up here in the opening segment, kind of getting through the details of the game. First time in 60 years that FAMU's traveled to Prairie View. First time that we've lost to someone other than Jackson State in the Swac. Lots of things to take away, you know, from the injuries to the play on the field, the stuff off the field. There's all kinds of things that went into this game. What's a couple of your big takeaways from Saturday's game?
I think their band has the right name, the Marching Storm. And this was really a perfect storm for a loss. I mean, you kind of, you know, and the pun was intended because it was a cluster. I mean, you lose your quarterback early on, and you come back, you get the backup in there. And yes, I'm still rocking for 7, but I've openly said I believe Dan Richardson is the better quarterback. But you know, Junior missed the deep balls. And as Kelvin pointed out, the obvious pass, you know, he can't throw, those a pick. So, and then you lose Kelvin Dean. You're already missing Ace Cobb. You lose, like, you're literally missing player after player after player to eventually lead up to what's a surprising upset loss. But then if you're kind of paying attention, you're less surprised because there's some things the offense just couldn't do. And the defense, by the end, they're just too tired to really stop the game. So disappointment, but at the same point, kind of looking on the other side of this, what are we going to build for? What's the next piece of this? We do see a guy join the transfer portal today, or probably 4th, 5th receiver at this point. So, you know, how big of a loss is that? But then at the same point, my biggest takeaway, I love Goldie Lawrence. And it's not just the name. I love what I saw. At the end of the game, he fumbles, but he's fumbling, trying. Like, he's literally giving his all to the point to where he makes a mistake. The game's over. You're not going to win. but he's still trying, and he's showing that fight and that charge that you hear from the Rattler charge, but that you want to see from players, but you don't always see. So that was probably my biggest takeaway. And then we saw a little bit of Martin. Can I get a little bit more? I'm just saying. I've seen the Junior Murtaugh movie. I'm a fan.
Yeah,
Junior's my guy, but I think I'm ready to turn the page.
I appreciate you owning up to that. I appreciate you. I don't besmirch anybody with their favorites. I know I've catching some strays on this show. So but
hey, Bryan, right there with you. Don't let him fool you.
No, not this year. A few years ago, I was. I was squarely
at the beginning. At the beginning of season 2.
You're a bold lie.
Don't make me run the clip now.
You're a bold lie. You pull the clip. But anyway, I will say this: I lost favor with 7 in that Lincoln, California game, and I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, Bobby." And I said, "Nah, that game to me was why I felt comfortable in Daniel Richardson, maybe more than other people, because I felt like that was a game that in the game, if anybody, we're talking last year, we're playing I don't even think they're an NCAA team. They're not, but they were just thrown onto the schedule last minute because we needed an opponent.
Lincoln, California.
Yeah, Lincoln of California, who, they're about like Virginia Union Lynchburg or Virginia Lynchburg. They play anybody that'll pay him to come out. But he didn't look great in that game. And I felt like that was the game that you were supposed to show everybody why you are going to be the guy next year. We knew we knew last year was the last season for Musa, and Junior was QB2 last year. And that was the game that he was supposed to show us the whole bag. And what he showed us was, oh, hell. At least showed to me, oh, hell, we got to go. We got to get some dudes. And so when I saw, what I saw from Richardson, I felt comfortable. And I understand the whole, loyalty thing, and people wanted to see Murtaugh. But so look, the question going forward is, and let's kind of answer some of the things, that are out there. Richardson, of course, I will say this, and every time my sister, who's a doctor of PT, and I remember her telling me whenever there's concussions, a true concussion probably takes minimum about 4 weeks to recover from. Now, when you hear that coming from somebody who's in the business of medical health care, and then you think about how guys roll back out on the field after, I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks or less, it's always head scratching. So I know, this is the last year for Richardson, and I know he wants to be out there. I think the reports were he was throwing at practice, but he's in a non-contact situation. I don't expect to see him this week. And I think out of his own safety and precaution, you shouldn't see him this week. But I agree with you, Keith. I think we need to see what QB, let me see, what number? 3 and 4. Because remember, if you think all the way back to the preseason, Coach Colesby said there were 4 guys, right? There were 4. And I think Hooker was one of them, Martin. And I'm like, I want to see QB 3 and 4. I'm sorry. I mean, we've seen QB 7. We've seen 7. We've seen that show. I don't think we need to go down that road again. I think if the other guys, and especially those 2 guys who have an opportunity to potentially be QB1 in the next year or two, let's see what they got. I don't know. Shoot, that's just my thoughts. That's my thoughts. What's your thoughts there, Kelvin? I mean, how do you want to see multiple quarterbacks? Do you want to see 7 again? What do you want to see?
First of all, I agree with you that I would not play D. Rich, and I'm sure that he won't be cleared unless he's cleared. So that has nothing to do with the coaches. That comes from the medical staff itself. But even if he was cleared, I would be hesitant to use him this game. And to answer your question, yes, I would definitely like to see a multiple quarterback approach this game. I don't mind starting off with Junior. I know this week he'll get the reps, and they'll come up with a game plan that fits what he does well against this defense. So I don't mind him starting, but I do want some kind of plan that we're going to play the second or third backups meaningful minutes into the first half and second half. So that's the kind of approach I would like to see. You know, it's not about, for me, loyalty at this point. Is about finding out what you have as you're going into recruiting season to see if you have some potential in-house before you commit to outside resources. So that's my reasoning and thinking behind it. I would definitely like to see Hooker, and I would definitely like to see Martin.
What I don't know how, I did catch some of Coach Colsey on the 220 Club today. I didn't catch the press conference or the I guess it had been Monday or Tuesday presser. But did you all catch? And I, look, we get into play calling and talking about play calling decision making, but there was a moment when I heard Coach Colsey, and it sounded to me like he would have gone with a more conservative approach once Junior came in. And I don't know if that's that. Look, Kelvin, you talked about the questionable decision to have Junior throw that ball at the end of the first half. But even
inside your own 25-yard line, it made no sense. We weren't going to drive the ball down the field and get in scoring position. So don't even put ball in. Don't even put them in harm's way.
What I say? Look, and you're saying exactly what I was saying. Just Keith, you laugh because you know I'm right. You're saying exactly what I was saying in the Jackson State game. Why throw the ball? Why throw it? But anyway, that we're not going to talk about that. Game's gone by. All right. But anyway, it seemed like Coach Colsey would have preferred a better situation to put Junior in the second half. Junior was 16 of 29, essentially in the 3 quarters that he played, because he came in late first quarter, almost that last drive in the first quarter. So in 3 quarters, he threw 29 passes, 16 of 29, 150 yards, the 1 touchdown, the 2 interceptions. And the bigger stat for me, guys, out of all that, 4 sacks. He was sacked 4 times. So, I mean, between the 2 interceptions, the 4 sacks, 6 negative bad plays right there that are occurring. And I just, we didn't have.
And hey, Bryan,
you cut him short, Bryan, because you missed him. You missed him deep balls that he missed too. That it's really like 10 bad plays. And I'm a 7 fan.
Hey, and remember, before he threw the pick 6, remember that screen pass that should have been picked off that he messed up? It was the play before the pick 6. That right there should have told you, no, we're going to run this ball and go to the half down 10-3.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was, Coach Colsey kind of saying that, I thought was kind of telling. Looking at the rushing stats, Bo Somerset only carried 9 times. He had 87 net yards. Thad Franklin carried 5 times. And again, we were only down 5 at the end of the 3rd quarter. So the score is what it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But we're only down 5 at the end of the 3rd quarter. So I'm just going to lay that on the table and let that dog die where it's going to die. And we'll see. We'll see what happens going into this week. Let's take a look at. So we got to understand something, and this is where I was going to talk today to Rattler Nation. Right? I was going to say this was going to be my speech before I got that text, Kelvin. Rattler Nation, we got 3 things to worry about at this point. 2 of them are in Bryan, right? Keep that winning streak going. Right now it's 23. Let's finish the season at 25. And the 3rd thing was going to be what? beat Bethune, finish on a 3-game. So look, notice I said 3 things: 3-game winning streak, 24 and 25th consecutive win at home, Bethune-Cookman win the Classic, and that's it. Let's just stop there. Oh, but no. We Rattlers, we want to know. Well, there's still a chance, right? There's still, look at the standings, folks. With 2 SWAC games remaining for Jackson State and Alabama, which you did note, Kelvin. Look, because of the scores, hold on, where is it at? Where's my scores? Because of the scores last week, Alabama State, we should be a little thankful that Alabama State dropped that game. We really should, because their upcoming game would really probably decide the conference, all things considered. But they left the door. They gave us that. They left that 1% chance out on the table. All right. So, Keith, are you ready? Are you ready for me to go through the scenarios? Because I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to have to spend all this time.
Bryan, let's go through the scenarios.
Okay.
I'm ready. I want to hear this.
All right. So a week ago, we were projecting, right? We were saying, well, all Jackson State has to do is lose 1 game. And hopefully that 1 game is Alabama State. We weren't expected to lose any more games, obviously. So everything would go in 1-1. Okay, that's what everybody was saying. And it had us looking into SWAC tie-breaking scenarios. So let's just show the SWAC tie-breaking scenarios, okay? Y'all asked for it, so here it is. Let's take a look at the SWAC tie-breaking scenarios. Now, again, this is based on 3 teams finishing with the same division record.
So to Rattler Nation, there's pretty much 0 chance, but the bottom line is the only way there is a chance is if there's a 3-way tie between us, Jackson State, and Alabama State. All right, go ahead.
Right. Okay. So, in these tie-breaking scenarios, you can see things such as head-to-head competition, records of the tied teams within the division, okay? Head-to-head competition versus the team within the division, overall record versus non-division teams, and so on and so forth. Okay, I'm going to come back to this in a second. But 7 things have to happen in order for us to have, and I need somebody out there who's a mathematician to tell me if the odds are better than 1%, which is where I'm marking it, or if the odds are greater or less than 100-1. So there are 7 things that have to happen. Here you go. The 7 things that have to happen. And it starts right. Notice I wrote number 1. Because if number 1 doesn't happen, everything else is null and void. Okay. If number 1 doesn't happen, just cancel it all from there. Alabama State has to defeat Jackson at home. Note I say by less than 17 points. That's very key, and I'll explain why later. I like that, Colin. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. So number 1, the key part there is the 17 points. Okay, so we expect that we should get a close game. We hope for a close game. That's what we want. But if it's a blowout, oh hell, that it'll be crazy if it's a blowout. All right, but 17 points. Now going on down the line, number 2, obviously what FAMU has to do their part. They have to beat Valley. Okay, so if number 1 and 2 happen, I'm gonna have to come back to this thing.
Which is possible.
Yes, it's possible. Anything is possible.
Those 2 things. No, those 2 things are 50-50 at worst.
Yeah, Jackson State can be had.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, those 2 things are possible.
It is a road game for them. So I mean,
everything after that is interesting. Go ahead.
Yes. Okay. So moving to what happens? Scenario 3. Now, remember, Jackson State still has, at this point, would have 1 loss, and they travel to Alcorn on November 23rd. So we need Alcorn to beat Jackson State, which would give them their 2nd loss.
Stick a plug in it right there. That particular game there if everybody wins in Jackson State except Jackson State lose to Alabama State, Alcorn has a reason to play that game, win it more than just being a rival. They're one game right now behind Southern University, who still has to play their rival in Grambling. So Alcorn will literally be playing JSU as well as JSU playing for a right to represent the East or the West in the SWAC championship game. So that game becomes a lot more interesting if this week happens. All right, go ahead.
And I will, and as you're reading, Steve, I will explain why I mentioned the Tuskegee game down the line here in a second. Okay, because that is still important. Okay, so after Alcorn beats Jackson State, number 4, we need Alabama State to go on the road to where we just lost to Prairie View. Notice that great crowd at Prairie View. Maybe nobody will show up for that game either. And Alabama State gets a road win. That, of all the scenarios, that's the one that worries me the most right there, number 4. That's the one that worries me. And really,
because they laid the egg last year around this time, last game of the season, Alabama State. I think that was Texas Southern too.
Yeah, and they just went to Grambling and lost. Okay, so I'm very nervous about that one. And then number 5, okay, obviously what? FAMU defeats Bethune-Cookman at the Florida Classic. Now we're feeling good coming out of the Classic. If we made it to number 5, you ain't gonna be able to tell us nothing going into Thanksgiving week. At that point,
it's a wrap.
The talking is gonna be heavy. Talking is gonna be heavy.
If that door was some miraculously open,
right?
Y'all thought we bragged different. You're gonna find out.
It's a wrap there.
Exactly, Russell. 7 things need to happen on the highest 7 hills. Exactly. Okay, now the reason why Alabama State beating Tuskegee is important because it goes to their overall record. Okay, and their overall record needs to be equal to everyone else because again, when you have a 3-team scenario, what they start to do is try to say, what is it that's going to eliminate somebody? What's going to eliminate somebody? And so if Alabama State beats Tuskegee on Thanksgiving Day, and then we turn around the following night or day on Black Friday, defeat Alabama A&M, it puts 1 through 7 in play, and Jackson State, Alabama State, and Florida A&M all end up with an 8-4, 6-2 record. Now, let me come back a page. Again, let me see. Where is it? I think it's option. Let me see. I think it's number D.
Overall versus non-division teams.
Versus non-division teams. I believe that is where the Tuskegee game matters, being a non-division team.
I think when they stuck in non-division there, they're talking East and West.
Okay. All right. So then it doesn't. Okay. So I thought in here as I was reading it, and okay. So I thought in here reading it, overall record did kind of matter. So, and that's where I wanted to kind of put that in there about the Tuskegee. I was unsure about, the Tuskegee game, but again, so whether you look at this as a 1 through 6 scenario or 1 through 7, you can put kind of a question mark next to the Tuskegee game. But I'd like to include it. I'm going to include it just for the simple fact that I think it opens up the scenarios. Now, let me give you some statistics here, okay? Again, in scenario A, now again, playing out if the 7 scenarios happen, okay? Looking at option A, well, head-to-head competition between all tied teams, everybody would be 1-1, okay? In scenario B, records of the tied teams within the division. Well, if it plays out the way those scenarios, all teams would be 4-1. Mm-hmm. Moving to section C. Now, this is the head-to-head competition versus the team within the division with the best overall record, conference record, and proceeding through the division, multiple ties. So essentially, you have Jackson State versus Alabama State and FAMU, FAMU versus Jackson State and Alabama State versus Jackson State and FAMU. Well, again, all are equal. So it ends up being a wash. The record is all the same. Option D, overall record versus non-division team. That means what they did against the West. Well, if our scenarios play out, everybody will be 2-1 because everybody will have a loss versus a Western Division team.
Correct.
Now, E and F. The key thing in E, combined record versus all common non-divisional teams. Well, I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, there is not one common non-divisional team between Alabama State, Jackson State, and FAMU. There are teams on here that two of us play twice, but not a third. For example, Prairie View. Well, Alabama State plays Prairie View, so did FAMU. Alcorn. Well, Alabama State played Alcorn, so did Jackson State. Texas Southern. Jackson State played Texas Southern, so did FAMU. But there is no scenario where all three teams have a common non-divisional team. And so because of that, essentially F is void because if you look at F is the record versus common non-divisional team with the best overall conference record and proceeding through the other common there's no common non-divisional team. So E and F become void. Now we come to G. Best point differential between the tied teams in head-to-head matchups. Now, if you guys have kids who are part of AAU or the USSSA and you understand what's about to happen right here. This goes down to point differential win-loss. What you do versus common opponent. So again, now we come back to the three teams. Jackson State, Alabama State, and Florida A&M. Well, FAMU lost to Jackson State by 14 points. We defeated Alabama State by 15. That gives us a +1. Okay, everybody with me so far? Jackson State beat us by 14. Alabama State lost to us by 15. So, as I stated, scenario number one, if Alabama State beats Jackson State by any score between 1 and 16, let's just say it's 16. If they beat them by 16 points, it brings the plus-minus margin for Alabama State to +1, right? Which in that case, you would eliminate Jackson State from the three-team race. And now you come down to FAMU and Alabama State, and then you have option H, which is a coin flip. But, let's just say Alabama State beats Jackson State by, let's see. What do you have to beat them by here?
When did you said 16 at the number, right?
17, because 17 would give them +2.
Right. So they need to beat Alabama State by, or they need to beat Jackson State by, if they beat Jackson by 13, then it becomes Jackson State and FAMU in the coin flip scenario. Because Jackson State would be +1. So if Alabama State, let's just say Alabama State wins by 2 touchdowns, 14. Let's just give it a nice even number. Okay. 14, 15, and 16 would put.
I don't think it goes to the coin flip. The only way it goes to the coin flip is everything was equal.
So then they go back to head-to-head?
Yes. So the best
so
differential. So it's pretty simple. It really comes down to this. and once it gets to G. So if Alabama State wins against Jackson State by anything 15 or less, then FAMU owns the tiebreaker because they have the +1 out of the two teams tied.
Yes, FAMU would have that point differential.
We have that +1 on Jackson State already. So the only person who can beat us on point differential would be Alabama State. They're the only one that can beat us on point differential. So that's, I hate that we even went down this rabbit hole, but
well, no, I mean, but see, here's the thing, but it's more than that, though, Kelvin, because the Jackson State with the +14 matters, because if they can lose to Alabama State by 10, and they would have the +4 on us. So that's why I said 14 is the number that make either 13, 14.
I'm trying to understand your logic. What you mean by that? Point differential is a finite thing, right?
It's only between the point differential is between
if team A beat team B by 10 points and team B beat team C by 12 points, the point differential is 2 points.
Yeah,
I think the statistician in you is going too far.
I don't think okay. So I'm giving you, okay, let's just say, give me a number. What's the score? That's why I said 14. If Alabama State wins by 14 points, okay,
we won by 15, so we would still have the +1.
Well, hold on, dude. See, y'all made me do this, so do like I got a sheet of paper. I went ahead and since y'all made me do this, get your paper out. Get your paper.
Will made you do this. This was not on our radar.
Nope. That was on Will. That wasn't on Key.
It was on Will. Will, you owe me a drink after this one, Will. So I had to put Jackson State -14, Alabama State +15. That gives us a +1. Okay. Now, under Jackson State, they have a +14 over FAMU. If they lose by 14 to Alabama State, their plus-minus becomes 0. If they lose to Alabama State by 13, they have a +1, which would be equal to FAMU. But if Alabama State beats them by 15, that would give Jackson State a -1. You see where I'm going with that?
I think we're saying the same thing, but yeah, okay. Go ahead.
We might be.
We just need Alabama State to win. And win by less than 17.
Pretty much.
I would say the number, Keith, is between 13 and 17. We need 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns.
I'm with you when you're right.
Russell, I agree with you. The only reason, because we've seen the MEAC go through these scenarios many a times.
You know what would be great if there was a poll maybe that BCSN used or had that they could utilize to break the tiebreaker.
Unfortunately, that is not one of the options, as you see there. It is not one of the scenarios. It is not one of the scenarios.
Just a suggestion.
Sadly. Yeah. But I agree. I know somebody said the point differential one is silly. And look, I can't disagree with you, but notice the point differential.
But the point differential is interesting that he say that, because they got a garbage score against us. That last touchdown, they could have kneeled down and ran the clock out. And then we got a scooping score against Alabama State at the end that created the difference. So,
yeah,
we both.
That's true.
We both benefited from it.
Yeah,
and it really inspires coaches to kind of run up the score when you got somebody down.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll put this up and I'll show it one last time. We a lot of things have to happen in order for FAMU to have a shot of going to the Swac championship game. And again, I'm just going to put all this up there to say the odds are probably 100 to 1. Or what was it, that number we saw earlier, 0.3999%, something like that. I'm going to say it's about 1%.
Just don't make your reservations right now.
No, don't do that.
No, sir. No.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah. So yeah. All right. Yes, that's a big if. A lot of ifs there. I didn't want to have to do this, but it was requested, and I was like, yeah, what the heck, All right. So I hope this puts it to bed, and I hope again, that's why I said I would rather us concentrate on the controllables, which are, the three games up ahead. Let's not.
84. Hey, and to that point, Brian. So 8-4 would still be a respectable, really good, strong first year with all the changes, new AD. I mean, new coaches and new roles, new players, transfer portal guys. 8-4. But now, if it's for some reason you drop a game, then the feel of the season is totally different.
Mm-hmm.
If you mess up that home winning streak, or you lose the classic,
it's gonna be hell to pay.
It's a different feel. So yeah, we definitely need to finish up the season strong.
I think that's part of also why that leans towards resting Daniel Richardson. I mean, because the Valley game is a Valley game. I mean, it's Valley. Like, you should be able to kind of
at home. Yeah. Now
like,
up there to be a little different.
Yeah, because you're fighting them and the mosquitoes.
But in Bragg, yeah.
But in Bragg, I think that's further. You want Daniel Richardson for the Classic and for the Alabama A&M game because you need him. Like, you need him against the Alabama A&M offense, particularly.
Yeah, we definitely do. We definitely do. I will next time, Meredith. I don't know. Maybe it was a slow week because of we only had one volleyball game, basketball teams, no wins. Playing Valley, I don't know. Maybe I'm looking for a challenge. So I hope I didn't confuse y'all, but it's a confusing ass scenario, But I needed to again. This was not my intent. My intent was come in and talk about, the reality of focusing on 3 games, keep the streak going, beat Bethune, finish 8-4. But some of y'all, I love y'all. Okay, I love Rattler Nation. But some of y'all didn't. A 1% means we got a chance. That's how some of y'all are living. We got a chance. We got a chance. I did not want to do it, Demetri. You lie, you tell. I did not want to do that. I did it last week, and I was done. I was not going down the rabbit hole, but I was, people call. Y'all hit the thumbs up button and like button, man. Y'all that see all that work I did. Kelvin, know how many text messages, how many angry faces in my text message that I throw out there. I was upset about having to go down this thing. Y'all hit the like button. Show us some love.
Show some love. Make a donation to the ONG StrikeZone.
Yeah, man. Come on, man. Y'all had me will get me going down this rabbit hole with this mess. All right. Any meat left on the bone there here as it relates to this Valley? Now, obviously, I'll say this regarding Valley coming in this weekend. Here's a team that's coming in, hearts are heavy. I can't even fathom what it was like for this team having to play a game hours after learning that a teammate had just died. I don't know all the particulars to the young man and what and how I heard it was kind of interesting listening to the Swac coaches call. People were trying to get information, just asking questions to get to know who the young man was and what he was like. And so I don't know where he was on the depth chart. I don't know any of all that stuff, but he was part of that locker room. He was part of that team and family. So having to be able to go out and play a game, I can imagine, I bet, no, I can't imagine. Let me rephrase that. I can't imagine, but I bet there were some players whose mind and mental focus wasn't even on playing Jackson State last week. with that said, when you get a whole week to kind of recalibrate and control the controllables in your own life, in your own locker room, I expect Valley to come in a very sharp and focused team on Saturday. And I know it sounds cute.
Brian. You're
that?
right. I think you're right. But the other part, I think if you kind of want to look at the compelling story, we got one of our transfer linebackers from Valley. So one of our top players, one of their top players is now on FAMU's roster. So I think if you kind of want to look for the compelling story, that's one of the compelling stories to kind of maybe get things a little bit lighter. I mean, that's obviously the big talking point, and it's right there. But when you start to kind of look there, I think that's one of the things where you kind of, what's it like playing against your old teammates? You know, I'm pretty sure we won't get to ask that question post game, but you know, that's kind of, you know, maybe, you know, Gerald or, you know, St. Clair, one of the folks there in town can maybe get that question out of the players there.
Yeah.
I knew somebody was gonna do it.
Oh, you talking about EA?
I'll wait on it.
Yeah, EA, boy, I tell you, good stuff. Yeah. So, and the thing about, I know the last couple times that we played Valley, those games, they've always been kind of, they've never just been total domination. You know, we've never just totally dominant. We've had better performances against other teams. Honestly, in my opinion, I think that the crazy thing about the Valley games is they're always kind of uneven. And I don't know if that's because there's a level of, maybe it's the travel, especially the road games to Itabena, or, you know, you hear people talk about that, or if it's just the fact that we think that it's just an easy win, so the mental focus isn't there. I mean, this is a team that hasn't won a game. And so I don't know if the whole, you know, what is it? You try to scare a team by saying, don't be the team to lose the Valley. Don't enjoy. I don't know if that kind of motivation works, but
it's both.
Have
you driven to Itabena? Or have you driven to Itabena, Brian? I'm not being mean.
I've heard enough people talk about it.
Sir, that's an 8-hour ride, my man. I look, if I ain't never got to do it again, I won't. And I sure won't do it from Orlando. I've done that from Tallahassee. Never again. The people are nice. It's beautiful, really great people. That's a long ride. And you think you put that on a bus, you're talking a 10, 12-hour ride on a bus, and you're taking I-10 to the 49, and you're just going up, and it's nothing to see. Like, that's a tough environment. Then we joke about the mosquitoes. That's the only place I've ever gone to bed, taken a shower, and sprayed off to go to bed because the mosquitoes was wearing me out. Like, I'm telling you, those mosquitoes are undefeated. They're worse than the Wakulla sand gnats. Like, so it's a tough place to play. It's a tough environment. The stadium's not normally. Yeah, I don't need to see them, but I'm just asking for a friend.
Hey, them gnats, boy. I had a bad vision. I had a recollection of getting bit by a million of those little suckers. Had you scratching your legs all week, man. You had to bathe in some rubbing alcohol just to keep from breaking out. The last time Valley came to Bragg was 2022. We beat them 34-7. Of course, last year was a trip to Itabena, 31-7. So, you know, and so we've never, you know, they've scored. We've never really blown them out per se. I mean, I don't know, 24 points. Yeah, that's a blowout. But you would think it would be something in the 50s. Like in the old days, we probably beat Valley 50-3.
Yeah, and then that last time they came, remember, up to halftime, still a game. I mean, you look at the box score, it was 14-7, and then we pulled away late. But last time they came to Tallahassee, you know, the score indicates that we beat the, you know, dog doo out of
14-7. Yeah, you're right. It was 14-7 at halftime.
I think we worked the game, didn't we? I think we did stats that game.
We might have. 14-7 at halftime. Valley at that time, they were winless. You're coming in winless. And then, FAMU scored 20 points, 10 in the third, 10 in the fourth to get the win. So, all right. Well, I agree with what Kenya said. Definite trap game. No one should be focusing ahead at Valley.
What do you mean a trap game, man? We coming off a loss. What the hell? If this is a damn trap game, then hell, we got the wrong guys on scholarship. Y'all just kill me with that every game. Not one. I saw them talking about Drew the other day, man. Every goddamn game we play can't be a trap game. We gotta watch out. God damn it. We supposed to win these games. Hell.
We don't lose and brag. We don't lose and brag. Say that.
Stop that foolishness. We supposed to win this game. Handily.
Yeah. Handily. Okay. Handily. Keith, you got any kind of score prediction or thought?
Oh man.
Or any maybe a bold prediction for this game?
I got 28-7 score prediction just because I feel like we're gonna have a quarterback carousel out there. Bold prediction, you're gonna see 3 quarterbacks in this game.
Ooh. You know what? I can't disagree with you on that. I actually kind of like that. It's interesting you said that. Bold prediction. That's good. That's really good. What about you, Kelvin? You want to give now or you want to wait till later?
I'm gonna give it now, man. The weather's gonna be just how I like it, man. It's gonna be a nice fall weather, man. Long sleeves, but clear. I'm thinking we're gonna see multiple quarterbacks. And I still think we're gonna win. I'm scared of 30 this game. I'm gonna say 24-7. 24-7. And I guess my bold prediction, I want to go ahead and give that. I guess my bold prediction would be I'm gonna go with special teams touchdown.
Don't need to see 7A. Not mad at you.
Well, I don't know, man. You guys took all the good ones. I don't know what Ron Jab. You know what? I'm Ron Jab right there. I'm gonna bite that. No Diddy, but I'm the 100-yard rusher there. I got you on that. One. I'm gonna go with a 100-yard rusher. Bo Somerset was right there on the verge of getting it.
Yeah, just give him the carries. If
give him the carries.
Yeah.
And we've had guys flirting with 100. We've had guys in the 80s and the 70s. So I like that. That's a good one. 100. I think we get a 100-yard rusher.
You know, Jab is a former player, so he kind of dissects those things from a player's perspective. But that's a great one now. I think that's yeah.
I'm gonna go with a score of 27-10. 27-10. A couple of field goals, 3 touchdowns.
And you just bit everything Jab said. You took his score.
You know what? I didn't even notice that. No Diddy. I didn't even notice that. I was telling you.
Pretty much, just added 3 points to it.
Okay, I can't do that. All right, just because I'm gonna go 30 to 10. 30 to 10. 30 to 10. Okay, 30 to 10. We've scored 30 on Valley before, but we not ridiculous. We Bold would be we score 40. I don't know if we can score 40 points, to be honest. I don't know if we can score 40.
Not with this quarterback combination.
Thank you. I was struggling to say it. But
the game plan is going to be different. Right. The game plan is going to be different. We're not going to try to throw the ball as much, I project.
I hope not.
Without a D-Rich plan.
No.
If you want to slide to another bold prediction, I would say if 7 is the quarterback, less than 15 passes.
Ooh.
if you, it's not a good day at the yard.
Right. See, Israel being ugly. See, that's because he knows when Alabama State wins by 14, so you'd be the one crying over there. But anyway,
they got to be Alcorn after that, though. I mean, they in control.
They're in control of their destiny. And that's why again, that's why I say, folks, let's be, that 1% is a real thing, because all they got to do is win one of the two. Now they are road games. So that's where it is.
I would say they want to win Saturday, because the pressure goes up 1,000%. Yes. if they don't get to one Saturday.
And like you said,
and it's at the reservation Alcorn, after.
Yeah, and Alcorn could still be in the hunt.
And Alcorn be playing for the West title.
Yes, exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So that I wouldn't want that if I'm them. No, I wouldn't want that if I'm them. Not at all. All right, Keith. I don't know how much time you got. You want to hang in as with a few other segments, or you got something to do?
I got another segment in me.
All right, sure. It won't be a long one. Might be our last one of the night. I didn't want to kind of get. I didn't want to get into mention a few not Olympic sport recruits, because I don't think a lot of people really knew that today is National Signing Day for a lot of the Olympic sports. So we've got some Rattlers that have signed letters of intent in some various sports. Softball, I've seen a couple. Basketball, and so I want to make sure we mention that. And then also we got to make mention of our volleyball team, and also our men and women's basketball. So all that's on the other side of this break. You guys keep putting those score predictions and those bold predictions, score and bold predictions. Keep dropping those in the chat, and I'll start flashing those as the more I see. You guys are funny, really. Look,
hide your login. Hide your logins.
Yeah. Go ahead, because I'm saving all these Valley by this, Valley by that. We talking about Valley? We talking about Valley? No the trolls, man. It is what it is. It is what it is. Love y'all to death. Thank you for coming in. You're watching the OG StrikeZone right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
Supermarket sushi, really?
No. Wait, Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes.
Never not working, huh?
Oh, Troy, you're such a good teacher.
Yeah, I know. Never not working. Never not working. Never, ever not working.
Are you serious?
Never not working. Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology.
Hey, grab me one too.
Charmin Ultra Soft has so much cushiony softness, it's hard for your family to remember they can use less.
Sweet pillows of softness.
This is soft.
Holy Charmin. Oh, excuse me. Roll it back, everybody.
Sorry.
Charmin Ultra Soft is so cushiony soft, you'll want more, but it's so absorbent, you can use less, so it's always worth it.
Now, what did we learn about using less?
You gotta roll it back, everybody.
We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
All right, welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. Bryan, Kelvin, and joining us, Keith Hadley, Things Up Podcast. That's where you can find him. Let's see, hold on, I've got to put one other thing here. All right, there we go. Yeah, just want to make sure I get my banner there squared away. Okay. Let's see. Any other any other comments? Anything new? No new predictions and scores. Okay, so let's shift gears here for a second, fellas, and let's kind of talk about volleyball as Lady Rattlers continue to really show why they're one of the top teams in the Swac, in the country. Just picked up last week. Only really had to play one game. It's our rival. Bethune-Cookman defeated them 3-1. Also in that contest, Brooklyn Watts recorded her 1,000th career kill in that match. Of course, the outside hitter. Let's see. She surpassed Rattler great and current assistant coach Dominique Washington. Of course, two-time Swac Player of the Year, Dominique Washington. Dominique was in 8th spot, excuse me, with 989 kills. So Brooklyn now moves up to number 8, as there have only been 8 players in the history of FAMU volleyball to ever record 1,000 kills. Outstanding job by Brooklyn. She had a match high 20 kills with 18 digs in the Bethune-Cookman match. It was her 8th double-double of the season. Ayani Sanford added 15 kills with 7 digs. Milana Thornton and Farrah Farouk each added 4 assisted blocks. Mackenzie Taylor had a match-high 36 assists. The Lady Rattlers improved to 14-0 in conference play. There was a stat running. Oh, yeah, here it is. They are one of 10 teams in the nation that are unbeaten in conference play. And so we've been kind of reading that over the last few weeks, and that number, I think when we first started reading that, it was like 16. Now they're all the way down to 10, one of 10. Amazing stuff. In her career, Brooklyn has 1,527 kills. Of course, 1,006 at FAMU. So, of course, the other 500 at her previous school. And of course, this weekend, guys, we got Jackson State. Any comments or anything you guys want to share? We'll start with Keith and then come to you, Kelvin. Keith, any comments regarding volleyball and this run that they're on?
I mean, you got to love it. You definitely want to beat Jackson State, though, because Jackson State's come to Florida and gotten some Florida talent on their roster. So, I mean, even Central Florida, I know one of my favorite Rattlers, his student, the Tiger. So that's a team you want to compete against, you need to beat. But it also, as you can see with Brooklyn Watts, this is where the transfer portal kind of helps you. You see where she comes over to FAMU from Middle Tennessee State and lights it up. So the transfer portal can work both ways, but in this case, you want it to always work in the Rattlers' favor because we're FAMUans. But you're also seeing where this team has an opportunity to do something special. And if they continue on, is this a team that can go further and go into the tournament and maybe get an upset or something like that?
Good point. This Jackson State team, of course, we played them, I think, first match of the season.
First conference match. Yes.
First conference match of the season. Went 5 sets.
And it's hard to win up there, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I'm just kind of looking at the history here. Since we've been in the SWAC, we have defeated Jackson 3-0, 3-1, 3-1. But I don't know. Any of you guys have? I could easily go to the standings here, but Kelvin, any thoughts here while I'm gonna pull up the standings. I don't know where.
Bethune. They're second place. They got 2 conference losses. Bethune has 3 now. So we're too clear of everybody. I guess technically, if we found a way to lose that game in Valley this weekend, we will be tied with them, be co-champs, I guess. So, but we want to go with momentum, and we no losses in Lawson. We haven't lost in Lawson all season against anybody, SWAC or non-SWAC. And so I know that's really important. I'm gonna make sure that I catch some of that game before I go watch my nephew play in the playoffs with Lincoln. But yeah, we had the season we thought we was gonna have, frankly, right? We had 23 wins now?
22-6.
Okay. I mean, the record speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Coach thought he had one of his best teams ever. He had depth, and this season has played out that way. And the only way to finish off the season to make it what it's supposed to be and special is to go undefeated in the SWAC and to win the SWAC tournament. That's all it's about now, and it's all in front of us.
Yeah, this is the third 20-win season under Coach Gokhan. Of course, the 21 team went 25-7 and won SWAC. The following year, they went 21-13 and won the SWAC. That number of teams in the nation that have unbeaten conference records is actually 9 now. I'm just kind of reading some of the pre-match notes. It's actually at 9. And as Kelvin mentioned, no losses in Lawson. I think that kind of started somewhere with our show, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, 11-0. 11-0. So we got a chance to finish out 13-0. We need a good crowd. We need Rattlers who are, obviously this is one of these test of faith weekends. How much do you love FAMU football? How much do you love FAMU athletics? If you love FAMU as much as you say you do, you'll show up. You'll be in town this weekend. If you're in the 850, you'll get to the Lawson Center Friday night, 6 o'clock.
Hey, Bryan. So that mean I'm gonna see you?
Yes.
I believe it when I see it.
Bryan, Mr. 4 letters now.
There you go. What you say? What?
Mr. 4 letters.
I have to make sure I don't have another job commitment, Kelvin. I have another job.
That's what I'm saying. I'll wait.
But my intention is to be there.
Okay.
But anyway, as I keep going, see
that Alabama A&M game.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be there. I'll be there. That's always my intention to be there, Keith. You know that. My intention is to be there.
Hey, Keith, did you off a ride?
I did last time, but he had it. Wasn't I wasn't VIP. Somebody's riding in the train in the fancy section.
I can't let him lie to our viewers like that. Even when he wasn't working, he had an opportunity to come now.
I was working. Stop it. I was working. Man, brother got to pay bills, man. It's hard.
I got you.
Sure. The Rattlers, let's see. Undefeated at home, I mentioned that. We've had 16 straight winning sets this year, including 11 against SWAC opponents. All right, so there it is.
Don't forget the non-SWAC opponents. Like one of you know how I am about that. I love when you beat the teams that are in the SWAC and out the SWAC. And I think part of the, we don't say enough about this volleyball team is kind of what you don't see with the basketball team. Like, honestly, they're going to take their L's. You have the money games, but with the volleyball team, they beat Jacksonville State. They beat Jacksonville University, I believe UNF, some other schools that are non-SWAC, non-HBCU. And so, not to say that that's puts an extra feather in your cap, but you're not just saying you're only cannibalizing HBCUs.
Right. A couple of milestones here for the ladies. Isis Williams has recorded 268 career blocks in 4 seasons. She ranks 10th all time in the category. She's the first Rattler to crack the top 10 since 1999. When Bonsil Mills, who currently sits 9th all time with 273. So 5 more blocks and Isis can move into 9th or maybe even, I guess, 8th spot if she comes up with a total of 5 more blocks over the course of this weekend. As mentioned about Brooklyn Watts, who's had over 1,000 kills in 3 seasons. She's 8th all time. 20 more kills, and she will move into 7th all time, surpassing Brandy Charleston, who was at FAMU from 93 to 96. That's when I was there. I don't know Brandy. Okay. Shout out to Brandy Charleston. But anyway, Brooklyn can move up to 7th. And then chasing 1,000, Brooklyn Thomas. She has 980 career kills in her 5-year playing career and needing 20 more over the weekend to reach the 1,000 career kill mark. So those are just a few of the milestones that our ladies. So a lot to celebrate this. I'm imagining senior night will be Sunday, probably. Got a chance to win a big weekend. So again, Jackson State on Friday, 6 o'clock. You got the football game against Valley, and then we have Valley's women on Sunday. So the state of Mississippi is coming to Florida. Let's welcome them well. Let's welcome our SWAC brethren from Mississippi well with some wins, with some, or give them some losses rather. So we need some wins. Give them some losses. Send them back to the SIP. Sipping. There we go.
That's a T-shirt right there.
Ooh, there it is. Trademark. We called it. Send them back to the SIP. Sipping. Okay. Basketball. All right, let's transition to basketball. Okay. Since the last show, women's basketball, we played 2 in-state opponents. Good Lord. SEC, ACC, traveling to Florida, going cross town.
Ranked program, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Florida is definitely a ranked program. You notice that game. It's
Florida State ranked.
Excellent program. Florida State ranked as well. You can see the scores. They are what they are. Any takeaways from when you watch these games, fellas? What kind of things do you watch, take away? How do you digest these kind of games when you know the odds are long for us to have success?
Go ahead, Keith.
I look at, obviously, you naturally look at the refs, and honestly, with the UF game, that game was physical, and the refs were swallowing their whistles. They kind of let the girls play, and I didn't mind it. I was really okay. I look at the shot percentage, though, too. Like, how many shots are falling? What kind of shots are we taking? What's shot selection? Like, I definitely acquiesce to you when it comes to basketball a lot of times, Bryan, because I know a good shot and a bad shot better than I do a good and basketball play call. So I definitely look at our shot selection, but also look at the players that are playing. We do know that Florida State basketball coach Wyckoff has kind of tried to flip that program there and done some things. And if you went to the game, I hope you got your free Chick-fil-A because they scored over 80 points. But think kind of looking at those 2 games, just seeing how our girls playing, what kind of shots are they taking, And who are some of the players we have on and off the court? Because you heard Coach Precious talking about missing some of her big-time players.
Yeah, Brian, my takeaway is this, and this applies to both the women's and the men team. In games like this, I'm looking at shot percentage, particularly 3-point shooting. And for both teams, it's just not there right now. I don't think we shot over 33% in any of those games from the 3-point line. I also look at turnovers. We've been very high on the turnovers, both teams, in these games. And then I look at free throws. And the women did do a better job with their free throw percentage in the last game. But before then, I know the Howard game, they must have missed about 14 to 15. And the men's team free throw percentage is pretty bad. Both they last two games, I know they've only they missed double-digit free throws also. So I want to see the pillars of successful, good basketball. So I like to see those. I'm not concerned with the scores much, but I would like to see our percentages with free throws and shooting up and our turnovers down. That's what I'm looking for.
And I almost question, do you want to, knowing who you're going to play, do you kind of flip it a little bit? Like, I don't mind playing Florida State. I really want those games. But do you throw a few more of those Alabama states in there? Do you throw the Albany states in there? Division II, especially HBCUs. Get them in early in the season so your team can kind of get in a little bit of rhythm, get in a little bit of stride. You're figuring out what your team is, because when you're playing these teams that are honestly better than you, as far as some of these teams are, what are you really getting for SWAC play? Because all of a sudden, when you start the SWAC season, it's really a whole new season. And now you're really trying to figure out, well, what do I really have? Because I know we're just not as good as the teams we've already played.
And also, it disengages your fan base, to be honest. When we know the first 10 games, we only got a shot of winning 2 of them. It's kind of hard to get excited and and want to pay attention until SWAC play happens. And I agree with you. Game 1 should always be a winnable game to me. And then you play some of these money games. But just to get the kinks out and to get the good feeling of winning and to see your team operate the way you want to operate before they throw them to the wolves, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. And maybe even consider like Classic Weekend. Think about it. You're coming to Orlando. I mean, we got 2 arenas here. Like, Brian, you've been to the UCF arena. Kelvin, I'm pretty sure you've been there too. It's a nice arena. You got the Amway Center, or Kia Center, excuse me. It's a gorgeous arena. We couldn't get Cookman to bring their basketball team and maybe a couple other HBCUs to come down, because honestly, you can get Alabama State, Alabama A&M, maybe some of the Georgia schools come down to Orlando, do a basketball tournament here at the Kia Center, and all of a sudden, one, you're getting level competition, you're getting the buy-in, it's part of the Florida Classic. It's just, to me, I'm thinking we're kind of missing an opportunity there, and you're bringing new people to the Classic, and it also creates a brand of basketball where, hey, we might actually win a game. I should go to this. So just kind of throwing that out there as an idea.
Well, Coach Pressure ain't missing it. She playing UCF Sunday, so after the Classic.
Right. The problem with the Kia Center, though, Keith, on that Friday, they're using it for what?
Battle of the Bands. But what about Thursday? Make it. That's what I'm saying. Make it a weekend. Make it a week thing.
Yeah, you're right.
Wednesday, Thursday.
Work. You gotta squeeze it in. You gotta hopefully you can squeeze around the NBA.
Well, don't forget about Disney's Wide World of Sports, Steve.
That is true. That's an option.
I know it used to be called a Milk House or whatever it is. I don't know what it's called now, but yeah, they got that facility out there too.
Yeah. They have that. You have this facility in Kissimmee. You literally have, within driving distance, like 5 arenas. Like, you could go as far as Lakeland. Like, the Orlando Magic D-League team is down in Kissimmee now.
Yeah, there's a couple people like Tony and EA pointing out that we used to play Cookman in the Florida Classic, and that's good. Now, I will say we opened the season. Now, here's the thing about scheduling. Like, I do think you ought to schedule something, like you said, Kelvin, something winnable in the beginning. The women play Howard. winnable game. Howard is a good team, no doubt, a favorite, but it's a draw game. Getting 2,000 people in Lawson for that women's only game is a good start. Great start. You know, man, it would have been nice if we could have paired it up with a doubleheader with the men. It's like, you know, can we get Howard's men combined in that? How much more would have gone to that game? You know, no shade to the women's only game, but could we have had 5,000-6,000 in the building if the men were playing Howard afterwards?
And it makes travel sense and business sense, bro.
Hey, look, both teams, both seasons started the same day, right? So, okay, but the point is, you know, the women went from that to playing 2 tough games, paycheck games. Now, I think what we got to see, fellas, is upcoming this, let me see, on Monday, they go to Jacksonville, taking on Jacksonville U.
Let me say something about it. I watched them play Miami. I watched that game after our game. And, you know, they got a new coach, Special Jennings.
Oh, well, she can coach. I
yes.
remember her. It's her going into her second year. I think going into her second year as well. She can coach.
They gave Miami fits. I mean, that game was within 5 points.
That's not going to be a cakewalk game.
So yeah, you say Jacksonville, but they got a squad.
Well, I say that as if it's a game that is more on par with
I understand what you're saying.
Who we hope to be and should be. And then we go up to the University of West Georgia, which is a Division II team.
Right.
So we actually go on the road to a Division II team at West Georgia. So those are the 2 games next week. And then they finish off the week against UCF the day after the Classic. Now, let me rewind for a second, because the one stat from the 2 games, Florida and Florida State, that I paid attention to, you talked about the 3-point shooting, Kelvin. I'm going to go to the free throw shooting. The free throw shooting, like when the Florida State game, right?
Yeah,
Hey, look, let me just give you this stat.
They had what, 30 more free throws than us?
In the first quarter,
and
right?
To correct you, Ryan, West Georgia moved up.
Oh, are they now a low?
Yeah, they're D1.
Okay, so maybe that is why we're going there. Okay, but they're just coming out of being a D2, so this must be one of those transition years. First quarter from the field, we were 7 of 15 from the field, 46%, not bad. Florida, hold on, let me take that back. We were 6 of 12 from the field, 6 of 13 from the field, 46%. Florida State was 7 of 15, 46%, right? Okay, not bad. 3-point shooting. We were 0 for 3. They were 1 of 3. That's on the surface, that's a pretty even quarter, right? You with me so far? We lose the first quarter by a score of 25-12. Why, you say? The free throws. They went to the free throw line 10 times and made all 10. Guess how many times we went to the free throw line in that quarter? The same quarter. We got a Kelvin Dean donut. 0. Nothing. Nada. And it just continued that way. In the game, they were 31 of 37. We were 13 of 16. You can't. Now, I don't know. Look, Liv will tell me that's because they're more physical than us, or we're not into that. I saw things where we didn't look very athletic. That's the one thing this team I think is hurting right now. We don't have enough athletic wings that can jump and go get a rebound. We have to be physical with you. That's what I saw in these 2 games against Florida and Florida State. And maybe that's just because the higher level of recruiting and talent. I don't know. But it's hard to beat somebody when they go to the free throw line 20 more times and are making 20 more free throws than what you are even shooting. That's hard to get over.
Yeah, but you can't look at it just for the numbers. You gotta look into the details. And what I would tell you is that because we aren't long, both at the guard position or in the middle, and you mentioned athleticism, that leads to a lot, and we don't shoot the ball at a high percentage. that leads to a lot of fast break opportunities. And usually, when teams got on breaks, either you let them score or you foul them. So I think styles may match up, and I think the way we play against the teams. I mean, I think about the Howard game, even right. We competed very well. We actually shot pretty decent, even except for I don't think we shot that well from the free throw line. But outside of that, we shot pretty well. But they were longer. They were more athletic overall, and so their buckets were a lot easier than our buckets.
Yeah,
we score points typically hard, right? We make good shots, but we don't get a lot of easy shots or open shots. And
that's a good point. That's a good point. Every
and I'm
shot that we
assuming,
shot was hard. It was hard to score.
Yeah.
Both
So,
games.
yeah.
But then also, I started to ask a little bit of a facilities question. Do we have a shooting machine? I'm just asking. And I'm not asking because I don't know the answer. But I know Florida State has one because when I worked at Florida, when I worked at FAMU, I would go to the practice court and we would hoop for lunch and we would shoot on the machines.
No, coach talked about it. Coach,
okay,
that was on a list, and 220 Club, I think, and Rattler Nation at large did work on that. So yeah, they have that. The one thing we haven't talked about is the new hire to our staff, which I'm really excited about.
Well, hold on. Before we mention that, let me make a mention because coming out of those two games, we did have a player of the week.
She looked really good. She looked great against everybody.
Yeah, first week of the season. I don't know what Sydney, the sophomore from Sydney Hendricks, the sophomore from Farmington Hills, Michigan, who I'm really excited about. I know I know Jen's piece. She might be watching. Really excited about Sydney last year coming in as a freshman. But I don't know what she did against Howard. I don't have those stats up.
She was the leading scorer, I think, against them too.
I think she wasn't the leading scorer in the Howard game. That was the other young lady.
Oh yeah, that's right. But she was second then. She was putting in buckets. Yeah.
Okay. That was Demaya Griffin against Howard. She had that game. But Hendricks had 20 points, 6 rebounds against Florida. She was 7 of 11 from the field, 6 of 6 from the free throw line in 31 minutes played. And then against Florida State, 12 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block, 4 of 9 from the field, 4 of 4 at the line, 23 minutes of action. So, I mean, a great. I mean, those are good stat lines.
Swiss Army knife. She does it all.
Yes.
She does it all, and she does it all without having to be ball dominant, right?
Yes. Yeah.
She gets her scores, her steals, her blocks, all that within the flow of the game.
Yeah.
She looks really good. So if we can get,
she's a real player. She's a player.
So again, my two concerns, I said it after the Howard game, backup point guard. Our offense gets really ugly when our small point guard is out of the game. We just don't have a real ball handler, and then we don't have the length down low. So teams get a lot of sucking opportunities, and that's where a lot of fouls happen when we scrambling after the opposite team gets a offensive rebound. So I'm hopeful that some of the 4 or 5 players who have been injured or trying to get cleared, that they will help those two situations specifically.
And the one thing I will say, just kind of looking from the last 2 games, Olivia Delancey, she's been coming off the bench these last couple games. So,
first game, she came off the bench against Howard too.
Okay, so she's look, the influx of talent has, she's got to step her game up. Even though she was second team preseason all SWAC.
I don't think it's the talent thing. I think it's a attitude head thing. Okay. I think if she just keep grinding, keep working hard, listen to what coach trying to get her to do, and play within, do what's asked of her, get some confidence. Her talent is there. it'll show. She'll get there. I have no doubt. But she
All
got to
right.
work. But she has to work her way through it, though.
Yes, she
And could
does.
she be a sixth woman? Like you thinking about that, as you mentioned, you got a problem when the point guard comes off the court. Can she be that sixth woman to kind of be there to be like, hey, we're taking the main player out?
That's my point. That is my point. Even though she's not a great ball handler, she's good enough where she can get into the flow of things. But she got to get a. She just got a tough period. She's going through a tough period. Just keep grinding, keep working.
Yeah. All right. Now, friend of the program, friend of the show, friend of the ONG is now joining the staff. We are super excited for our good friend, Coach Erica Cromartie. I mean, been at FAMU High, FAMU DRS, whatever you call it these days, for over a decade, I believe. Over there leading the Baby Rattlers, a state championship winning coach. Super excited for her, super excited for the opportunity. Coach Gordon has given it, and I think bringing someone like Erica on the staff is a huge win for the program. What do you want to add, Kelvin, and then Keith? You guys go ahead.
No, of course, good friend, good person, great coach. Been looking for this opportunity for a while. I'm glad she's finally got this opportunity. And I'm glad it's happening at FAMU. And I think the combination of the staff that's there, and you add what Erica brings, someone who can coach defense, someone who has relationships with the coaches and around the state and in the city, and so I think from a recruiting standpoint and just our defense, especially if coach says she like to do pressure, and if we're gonna be a press team, then Erica's a great coach to have to help work with that and learn under Coach Gordon. So I just think it's a win-win, and I'm excited to see what this team's look like in January, and then of course going in, and what recruiting is going to look like going into next year.
Mm-hmm. What do you want to add, Keith?
Long overdue. I think this is another example of having an athletic director that understands what the hell to do. I mean, not trying to be any type of way towards anybody, but Angela Suggs gets it. And this is an acquisition that long overdue. Honestly, if she doesn't land at FAMU, she lands it somewhere else. And honestly, this is what we talk about. FAMU should be a launch pad for coaches. It's not the place where you stay, but it should be a place where people get their start, but people who are qualified. You're bringing in someone who was qualified, who was a winner at DRS. And we all know modern DRS is a very tough place to win at, just because DRS don't get the same treatment like FSUS and JP2 and NFC and McClay. We don't get the same love at FAMU DRS. So for her to be able to do that at DRS and not get the love, granted the facilities are nice. Don't get me wrong now. FAMU DRS got some nice facilities, but to do that and now come over to FAMU with the knowledge and the ties to the community, and that's a huge get. And I said it before, I think she lasts 2 years, and then either she's coaching here or she's coaching somewhere else. But this is her launch pad to be able to get to the college ranks where she should be at.
Earl, great info. Second local high school coach on the staff too.
Yeah, Coach Jenny came from Gabi.
Okay. Yeah. And that's so that's awesome. And I hopefully all that. Again, we talk about that 850 or AD Suggs talk about that, continuing to build the strong ties in the community, because I listen to you guys tell me about all this talent in the.
I was wondering if you gonna bring that up. We've been telling you on the ONG for a while.
Hey, you've been telling me about all this talent in the 850, man, and in the North Florida and the Panhandle.
Better than what we were seeing in terms of ladies basketball. What we were seeing, we saw better basketball in the high school level. That's what we were saying.
Yeah, I got you.
You've seen a real focus. You got some good coaches down there. Coach Vaughn, Danielle Vaughn, one of our personal friends. She's one of them that's been, ladies basketball has been coming up in the city of Tallahassee.
Well, again, a big week next week. So after the week playing the Florida schools, the Rattlers, recalibrate, and then they'll start Jacksonville. So Jacksonville Rattlers, we should be in the house deep at that game. As many Jacksonville Rattlers, we should be there deep. That should be almost a semi-home game at JU. And then of course they travel up to West Georgia, and then I feel like I'm gonna tell you 3 games next week, fellas. I feel like we should be able to get 2. Maybe, 1 definite, 2 would be great. It'd be great to go into the Thanksgiving break with a pair of wins under the belt. I think it's possible. I'm looking forward to even sticking around and going to that UCF game. I think we should have a great crowd there. So
I was about to say, we're doing a live from UCF.
I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there.
I love it. We start planning it now. We need to start planning it now. Okay, real quickly, jumping over to the men. The men also traveling Thursday, actually spending a whole week pretty much in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I mean, obviously they opened last Monday against TCU, which is in Dallas-Fort Worth. Then they played SMU on Thursday. You can see that score 102-73. And then after that, then they got on the plane and they flew up to Maryland. And I think I saw a tweet from Coach Crary that said they've been on the road for 11 days. 11 days, man. I mean, talk about the grind that we put on our teams, right? And yes, it's a great experience for bonding. I mean, I've seen some great pictures and great photos of like the Dallas Fort Worth Rattlers. In this photo, then you had the Rattlers
and the DMV,
the SMU, yeah, and then you had the Rattlers at the DMV. So I mean, the brand and getting to see Coach Crary in Texas and then back in his home state, in his home region. He's from the DMV, but seeing that's great, and I think people came out really encouraged by this team and these performances. Again, I'm trying to just look here at just some of the stats from the Maryland game.
So we shot under 40% for the game. We shot under 29%. We only shot 28% from
their 3-point shooting wasn't good either. Yeah,
we only shot 41% from the free throw line. We turned the ball over 22 times. We turned the ball over 22 times, and then we only created 3 steals while they had 11. So again, I'm gonna say, and this for both teams, come down to guard play. We just not having a good enough guard play right now. The guards got to step up.
Yeah, Keith, want to add anything?
This just makes me think about recruiting. I mean, when you go into Dallas. You're playing TCU and SMU a couple days apart. Then you go up to the DMV, which we know they're known for having really good basketball. I'm thinking, Coach Curry's looking to see who we can bring into the fold. And so I'm looking, as long as we do what we're supposed to do contractually with Coach Curry, I'm interested to see what this recruiting class is going to look like in this next cycle.
Yeah. Taking a look at the upcoming schedule next week. So obviously, after spending those 11 days on the road, they come back in town and they get a chance to be in the state of Florida for a minute. On Tuesday, they're in Gainesville, taking on Florida. I hope to be at that. I don't know how. I'm gonna try to be there for that one. And then they actually host their first home game Friday the 22nd against Trinity Baptist College. So finally that first home game. So after kind of playing 4 power, I don't even know what it is in basketball, power 5, power 6, SEC, Big Ten, let me see. So they go from SEC to Big Ten to ACC to Big 12. That's what the first 4 games are like.
Power 4.
Yeah, power, whatever, Power 4 in terms of the football world. And so, so good opportunity next week as they are back in the state of Florida, thankfully. And so want to encourage everybody, if you're in the Gainesville area and you can check them out, please make plans to do so on Tuesday. And then back in Tallahassee playing against Trinity Baptist on Friday. No set time yet for that one.
They got to get the students out for that one because that's the classic weekend. A lot of folks gonna already be gone traveling. That's the only thing about that. So
if the students are going to be there,
well, I mean they're gonna have to put forth their effort. I mean that might be one. That might be one of those games. Well, the students getting free anyway, but that might be one of them games where you want to open that circle up because
might need to. Might need to
have some type of giveaway for it.
Yeah,
something. All right. Last piece of nugget here. I mentioned that it's National Signing Day today. My guy Marcus had put together some info here on some of the recruits that have signed. So I want to kind of run through the list of names and give these young people a shout out, and kind of you guys can make sure to hit Marcus up, let him know you appreciate it. But we got about 3 softball signees that committed today. Amaya Ramos, she's a catcher and third baseman from Taylor High School in Pearson. She committed back in October, and I think I saw a stat that said something. She's like the 32nd rated, the 32nd best catcher or third baseman, one of those 2 positions in the nation. So I mean that's pretty awesome. That's pretty big time get for Coach Beal. And also Aaron Polite. I hope I'm saying Aaron's name correctly. She's a utility infielder from Clear Springs High School. She also played at Taylor High School in Pearson. So you can kind of see a little bit of a connection there. She recently committed to FAM. And then another one that just recently committed as of today. I hope I'm saying this right. Natalie Williams, or Natalie, maybe with a silent H, Williams, a multi-position player, first, third, outfield from South Sumter High School in Bushnell, Florida. Her team last spring, or this past spring, went to the regional quarters. So congratulations and welcome to the family for those Rattlers. Let's see, what other sports we've got? Volleyball. Volleyball's got a few signees as well. Kristen Moore signed. A middle blocker, outside hitter, 6'2", nice size, from Virginia Academy out of Ashburn, VA. Who else we got? Baseball. A baseball signing. Jamarquez Benton. Committed back in August. He's an outfielder, 5'8", 165, plays at Jefferson High School in Tampa. You can see Jefferson went to the 4A regional quarters back in the spring. And let me see. And I think we got a women's basketball signee. Zana Justice. I love the size. Now, this is the 6'3" forward center, a transfer from South Atlanta Christian in the Atlanta, Georgia, previously went to Milton High School. This the kind of wings that you got to start getting to be able to compete with the Florida State and Florida size. Definitely. So she had committed back in September, so she officially signed. And Nia Rhodes also committed, 5'7" guard, Clarksville Christian School in Clarksville, Tennessee. She was the Kentucky High School girls basketball Region 11 all-region team. So you can see she transferred from Lexington, Kentucky, where she went to Frederick Douglass High School, to now she's playing in Clarksville, Tennessee. So I actually spells her name the same way my sister does. Awesome. I'm already a big fan of hers. All right. Let me see. I think that was all that we've got, fellas. Oh, yeah. Appreciate you. Meredith said that Amaya Ramos, 32nd infielder in the nation by extra innings. Appreciate that, Meredith.
Big influence from our softball coach. You see all those players from Central Florida. So you start to see already, what's that? Volusia County, that's where that, world's most famous litter box is. And then you got some kids over here from, Sumter County too, man. So I'm just telling you, look, I'm liking what I'm seeing from coach already.
Good stuff.
And again, we didn't lose too many players off last year's divisional championship team and finalists. So I'm really looking forward to the season. And coach already mentioned pitching is a strength this year.
Oh yeah.
Not only do all our pitchers come back, but she added 2 more.
Yes.
And we have a pitching coach.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
That was mentioned in the meeting.
Big time mentions. Okay. Well, fellas, I think this is bringing us to a close for tonight. Keith, any final thoughts? Any other news nuggets? Anything you got that you came across over the last day or two, or anything you want to promote? Want to give you that time to kind of do that?
Definitely, man. I want to encourage everyone's come to the Classic. Show up to the UCF basketball game. Don't just come to the Classic. Don't just party with noobs. Come to the FAMU UCF basketball game over there on the east side of town, not too far from Bryan. But I also definitely want to encourage you to watch the Fangs Up podcast tomorrow. Gonna talk about that booster call a little bit, but talk on the lighter side of things. Try to control the narrative. Y'all know how we do. But
Keith to the teaser. I got to tune in to figure out what I missed. Okay. I like that.
We're gonna keep it light, man, and always, man. We're gonna be here to, get ready to talk about the game. Maybe even I don't know about post game. We might get out in time enough to do a post game. It won't be 1 o'clock at night.
There's early game, so yeah.
Afternoon, hell, Good stuff. All right. Well, appreciate that, Keith. Definitely. I might need to catch a ride, Keith. Just a heads up. So I'm just saying. I might be available to do that. What you got, Kelvin? Anything that we missed that you want to mention?
Well, what I want to mention is I want the football players, coaches, team, and all our sports to understand that Rattler Nation, we with you. We love you. We always for the orange and green, for the Rattlers. And let's go ahead and we got an opportunity to perform and get some W's this weekend. Let's dominate. Let's leave no doubt. And I want our fan base to come. Don't be like Bryan and AD Drew. Talking about, oh man, it's a trap game. No, bring your swag. We finna put 50 on these motherfuckers.
I was just reading the comments. Don't put that trap game on me. That's Drew. First off,
bring your swag with ya.
That's Drew. Yeah. I agree. This is a game where I feel like we need to see, we need that 14 to 15K. We really, it's a 1 o'clock game. Which shout out to Penalty Talk. At Penalty Talk. I know we were talking because I put it out there in the chats on the 220 Club. Like, when was the last time that we played a game at Bragg at 1 p.m. in the afternoon? And I think the time that he came up with was like 2014. I don't know. It's been at least a decade. It's been a long time. It hasn't been recent. Like, we rarely play anything at that time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, EA said, wow, EA said the Earl Holmes era. Jesus. I mean, that's a long time. I think it maybe been sooner than that, but 1 o'clock is a hard time. Coach Colsey did mention the reason behind that, with the hope that this originally was supposed to be senior night. It was supposed to be the last game. And by scheduling it at 1, he wanted to allow the players to kind of be able to have time after the game to be with their family, stuff like that. EA said that 1 o'clock time. Look. Okay, so must admit it was hot. What he's saying is it was hot at 1 o'clock, which who knows? I mean, let's hope.
But that was in August though.
Yeah, it was in August, September.
Right.
Yeah. This is November, where it should be. I mean, the sun is out, but it should be a beautiful day for football.
The high's only supposed to get to like low 70s. It's supposed to be.
Man, it's supposed to be a beautiful day for football.
Yeah, supposed to be low 50s, low 70s. So.
And in the fair still in town?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And it's on HBCU Go. So for those of you who can't make it, you can watch it on HBCU Go. This is the only game that's not on an ESPN network this season. And Israel, why are you being funny? $15K is still good for a game against Valley. I don't know how many of y'all did.
Before the Classic.
Before the Classic, right?
Yeah.
How
and
many
Bragg only 6'19", so it ain't like
and right after homecoming, and yeah.
The scale perspective on this, Israel, is y'all just played Valley. What was the percent capacity? Y'all got a 50, 60,000 seat stadium. What was the percent capacity?
About 1/3 full.
1/3 full, right?
They're averaging less than 1/3 of their stadium filled. FAMU's averaging about 75 to 80% filled per game. I know there's a difference, but just saying.
Yeah, well, that's how you got to look at the percentages. Some people want to just throw around big numbers because you got a big stadium. That, okay, but what's the percent capacity? Okay, that's the kind of stuff. So, but yeah, we need wrap. It's a great opportunity. Again, I'll say it again, and I'll close with this. We need to support. We need to be there. This is a show me weekend. Let's show this new athletic administration. Let's show our football program. Let's show our volleyball program. Let's show them how much behind them, and then take the opportunity. Go get those season tickets. When you go up there, inquire about the season tickets for basketball season. $100 is a great deal for season tickets for the basketball season. So this is a great opportunity, Rattler Nation. This is a show me weekend. The devil, as Kelvin said, the Delta devil is a liar. Don't let them tell you that ain't nothing good happening at FAMU this weekend. There's a lot of great things happening. A lot of
championships gonna happen this weekend.
Hey, that's right. We get the first one. We need to get the first one right there. Get a championship. All right. That's going to do it for tonight's show. Again, Keith, appreciate you coming in and filling in some time.
That's right. The color is black.
Oh, it's a blackout.
It's a blackout.
Okay, I did not know that. Blackout. All right. I don't know
I'm glad Ms. Gail reminded me.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Gail. Blackout. So I guess we'll have to show up. Thank God it's a November day when it'll be in the 70s. Somebody playing that one well. All right. But again, Keith, appreciate you, man. Make sure to check out Things Up Podcast tomorrow night on YouTube and everywhere that you download. Make sure you're following Keith at Things Up Podcast is where you can find him. Go download the BCSN Pod Zone. All of the shows that are part of the Black College Sports Network you can find on the BCSN Pod Zone everywhere you listen to podcasts. Our show every Wednesday night. Of course, other shows, Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab, the Carlos Brown Show, the BCSN Sports Wrap, all of that stuff. You guys who are loyal subscribers, we thank you for your time and all of your efforts and everything that you do to support the program.
Shout out to our lady Rattlers too, podcasters, media personalities, Thai and Liv in those spaces.
What you say?
Shout out to Liv and Thai.
Yeah. Both of them doing great work out there. You know, they out there in the. You saw the most recent video for Ty.
Yes, hilarious.
Oh, that was hilarious.
I can't wait to get on the show.
Yeah, so
we put some swag up there, Alabama A&M, making them look good.
Yeah, I know. And shout out to Liv doing her thing at Liv for Hoops, is where you can find her. Dropping some great graphics there, courtesy of I think it's HBCU Pass that was putting it out there. So, all right, well, you hear the music and you know that song, so it means we got to go. Make sure to support FAMU Athletics. Join the Booster Club. Things up. Get your vodka via Social House. Get that Thanksgiving bottle. Bottles. Oh, you gonna show me? Oh, I thought you were gonna show me the bottle there, Keith.
No.
Oh no,
hey,
no.
At the tailgate.
At the tailgate.
We have a bottle at the tailgate.
We have a bottle. Oh, we gonna have a bottle. All right.
Boy, look, I keep some swag though, boy. Look, I can't even show you yet, but I keep some new merch.
Man, look, hold on, Keith. Look, Kevin, we got to step our game up. Everybody,
look, I'm like, really, you ain't got these.
Hey, you got to step your game up. You wait till you see me Saturday.
You know what?
We ready.
Look, the Cousins don't play now.
I know. Hey, we're gonna drop some info on Twitter. If you're looking for tickets for the Florida Classic, make sure to follow us on social media at ONG StrikeZone. Our guy Mike Road Dog Reed has got some great tickets available, great pricing too. So if you're looking for tickets, you want to sit in the suites, make sure to check our Twitter handle at ONG StrikeZone later tonight. I'll make sure to post out. Mike's been gracious enough. He's dropping some great prices out there and some great information. And you just let him know that you heard about it on our show, StrikeZone, BCSN, and Mike might bless us with a little something. So anyway, all right. Y'all are doing too much. All right, it's time to go, man. Y'all dropping merge.
Hey, Ashley C says she's gonna bring a bottle to the tailgate.
Hey, there you go.
Man, okay.
Pull me up some more. I'm gonna pull me up some more.
Let's get out of here.
Right, you got to catch up to the Cousins. I'm telling you, look, we got this FAMU thing.
I see y'all. All right, things up, everybody. Peace out. Be safe, Rattlers. Make sure to strike again, and let's get back on business, and let's finish out the season the right way. For Marcus, Kelvin, Keith, I'm Bryan. You guys be well. Peace out, and we'll talk at you later.